Hi, welcome back to my videos. Today we're going to be making some meatball and Italian sausage uh, grinders, not grinders, that's what they call them in Massachusetts, but sub sandwiches. So what we're going to need, some Italian sausage, whatever type, Brock's, whatever type of sausage that you like. I got some ground beef here, and I've already cut up some bell pepper and some onion. I'm gonna need some bread. I'm gonna put this over here. My kitchen is really small, guys, you know that. Onion soup, black pepper, Worcestershire sauce, seasoning salt, onion powder, garlic powder, and I'm not gonna edit this video because I don't know how to do it. Spaghetti sauce, your choice. And those are the ingredients that we're gonna need. Of course, you hear baby girl outside barking. It's a nice day. I have the windows and the doors open. So let's get into our video. Okay, I'm gonna set this aside. Oh, I forgot we're gonna need some eggs also. Let me grab those. And I also have some shredded cheese in the refrigerator. I'm not gonna pull that out now. But you can use cheese or Parmesan cheese, whatever type of cheese you want. I have Kobe Jack and sharp cheddar. I love the sharp. So we're gonna put a couple of eggs in here. Actually, I'm gonna put probably 3 because it's probably like a little over 4 pounds. You're gonna use less. Just use less eggs. Okay. I buy these because this was like $2.89 for 2.5 dozen of eggs. It takes up a lot of space in your fridge, but it's worth it. Okay, so now we have our eggs in here. We're going to take our onion soup mix. And I don't know why I typically do this, but I do. I just kind of crush it up. And I'm going to use this whole pack in here. Once I get this mix, I'll probably need to get a bigger bowl, but I just wanted you guys to see the hamburger meat. Whole pack in here. And then I'm going to take this pack and I'm going to put some water in here. I'm going to fill this up with water. And I'm just going to pour that in there. Okay, so next up, we're going to take our bread. I guess you can use breadcrumbs, but I am just not a breadcrumb person. I use bread. Like I said, I'm not going to edit this because I'm going to take about 4 pieces of bread. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to wet it. Put it in here. Okay. So now that you guys can see pretty much what I'm doing with this mixture here. I can see that this glass bowl is not going to be big enough for me to do what I need to do. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it in this pan. I'm just going to put it in here. Put all of it in there. There you go. You need some space to make sure you mix it. Set that aside. Okay, yeah, this is kind of good. Okay, so now I'm going to put some black pepper. About a teaspoon or so of black pepper. I'm going to put some onion. I'm going to put the onion powder. Maybe a teaspoon and a half of that. I'm going to put some garlic powder. Same thing, about a teaspoon and a half. If you don't like any of these ingredients, you do not have to use them. Then I'm going to use some seasoning salt. About a tablespoon, about a tablespoon and a half of that. It's not going to be salty, I promise you. Okay, and then we're going to use some Worcestershire sauce. I always shake it up before you use it. I'm going to say about 2 tablespoons, 2.5 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. Okay, so now we're just going to take this and we're going to just mix it up really well. You're going to know if it's mixed well and you don't see any more bread in there. Like I said, you can use breadcrumbs if you want. I don't like breadcrumbs, I use bread. And I don't put milk or any of that craziness in there. Well, I'm not going to say craziness, but I don't like it with the milk. And then just mixing that up really well. All this bread in there. And it's going to feel kind of like really loose or whatever. You know, I've seen people mix it with a fork or a spatula or whatever, but if you don't get down in here, you're not going to get the bread all mixed in here. I know I've seen a lot of cooking shows to say, oh, don't overwork it. I don't understand what you mean by overworking it. You have to mix it to get all those ingredients incorporated in here. Okay. And those of you that don't want it too yucky, you can use gloves. I don't. I'll be right back. Let me wash my hands right quick. gonna turn my oven on. I'm gonna get my pan that we're gonna do these meatballs in. Wash it out real quick. Okay, I'm just gonna get from the dollar store. And we're gonna roll these meatballs out and pop them in the oven. That's just I'm gonna be using these brioche hot dog buns. Traditionally, you use it on French bread or whatever. So I'm gonna be making kind of small meatballs, but you want to make them big enough because they're gonna shrink. They're gonna shrink. That's about the size that I'm gonna use. You know, if you're using the French bread or whatever, you're gonna make yours bigger. So I'm just gonna make all of mine about that same size. We're just gonna roll them, just like that. Plop them in the pan. This is probably the most time-consuming part of it. So I'm not gonna roll all of these on camera, just so you get the gist of it. So but I'm just barely rolling them in my hand to make them round. And if you don't wanna, if you can make as many as you want, they freeze really well. They freeze really well. Alright. You can make them up, all of them up. And at the end of the week or whatever, you take the leftovers and make spaghetti and meatballs. Yeah, even with the Italian sausage, it's actually pretty different. But it's good. These are gonna shrink. And this is 80-20 ground beef. That's what they say. I really believe it's like 70-30, but that's what the pack said, 80-20, I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna come back. Okay, I'm done rolling these meatballs. Okay. If your pan is not big enough, it is perfectly okay to double layer these, and they will not stick together. I've had 2 layers of meatballs, and they come apart really perfectly. Can you see that? So my oven is up to temperature. I have it on 350. I'm probably gonna bake these for about 35-45 minutes. You know, you check on them, and you'll be able to see when they're done badly. They stick real bad. So I'm gonna take some cooking spray, and this is butter flavored, but it's okay. And I'm gonna just spray this pan really well with it. These sausages, they do tend to stick. Okay. And I'm just going to take them. And if I'm cooking too many of them, that's fine. I'll just freeze them. My husband will throw some, Darla will throw some mustard or something on them. So it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna put them in here. I know that's too many, but that's okay. Just gonna put them in here because they do shrink a lot, also. Okay, and I'm just gonna put them in here, and then I'm gonna take my onion. And bell pepper. I'm just gonna put them in the oven with it. Now you can, if you don't want to do yours like this, you can fry your onions and bell pepper separately. But to me, it's gonna come out the same way. And I'm just gonna pop these in the oven. I'm not gonna cover them, anything. So the meatballs and this is, it's gonna cook at the same time. So these are gonna go in the oven. And periodically, I'm gonna mix the vegetables up to make sure they're cooking evenly. In the oven they go. So next what we're going to do is while that's chilling out, cooking in the oven, we're going to make the sauce. The spaghetti sauce, the meatball sauce, whatever you want to call it. In the oven, so I need to put them over here. I'll be right back. I have to put this in the dining room. So, I'm gonna get my ugly pot and gonna use. I love mushrooms, so that's why I have this one. You can get whatever your pasta sauce that you like. If you want to make your own, you're more than welcome to. But I get this from my local store, Save a Lot, and no, I'm not being sponsored by them, but that's the closest grocery store. I just put like a thing of water in here. Gonna do this one. Put that in there. Then rinse that jar out, and then I just pour the water in the next jar. I'm going to shake that up. Get all the sauce out of there. So now we're going to go over here to the stove. I'm going to put that on. I'm going to put that on the simmer. Excuse me. I'm going to mix that. That's it? Okay. It has chunks of tomatoes and stuff in it. Okay. I think we're gonna need a little bit more water in there. because you don't want it to be too thick and you don't want it to be too loose. Yeah, that's gonna be just about right. Just gonna leave that sitting there just in case. So we're gonna put a little pepper in here. A little garlic powder. That's probably like a 1/4 teaspoon or less of each. A little onion powder. And of course, some Worcestershire sauce. That's probably like a tablespoon or so. If you don't like Worcestershire sauce or garlic powder, onion powder, don't use it. You take what I'm teaching you and you make it your own. That's how I learned how to cook. Hell, I didn't know what the hell. Sometimes I still don't know what the hell I'm doing. But I know how to the key to cooking is learning how to balance your ingredients. You know, I see people say, oh, use a 1/4 of this and a 1/4 of that. How you gonna taste that? I know you can't taste it. And just like I got my adult beverage here in my cup. Okay, I'll be right back. Get off my TV. Love hip hop live. Okay, we must be. I'm sorry, I'm talking to the TV. I got TV in the kitchen. So I put like half of this in there. Where I spend most of my time and oh, I'm sorry. I buy this spaghetti seasoning pack. We're just going to let this simmer. I'm going to add a little sugar. Like I said, if you don't like yours with sugar, don't. The sugar, you have to put a tiny bit of sugar in any tomato product to get that twang or the, yeah, that's what I call it, a twang out of it. So, a little sugar in there. That was maybe a tablespoon and a half or two. Just let that simmer. And at this point, if you want to, you can add some Italian seasoning or whatever. But I'm really not a fan of Italian seasoning. But I do sometimes. I have it here, but I don't think I'm going to use Italian seasoning. No, I don't think I'm going to use it. And when this simmers for about 15 or 20 minutes, I'll taste it and you'll decide if I'm going to put Italian seasoning in there. But you're more than welcome to put Italian seasoning, basil. Sometimes I put basil. Actually, I think I'm gonna put a tiny bit. If I have some, you can put oregano, whatever seasonings you like in your spaghetti. You know, if you just in the beginning when you start to cook, you need to always just try different things. I think I am gonna put just a little bit of Italian seasoning. You have to try different things. You never know, and I mean when I say a little bit, a little bit. You have to try different things and different seasonings, different combinations of seasonings. Italian seasoning pretty much has probably every seasoning that you probably can ever use. See, now it smells like spaghetti sauce. So, we're going to come back with the meatballs and the Italian sausage. Already? Okay, guys, we're back. I'm going to put this together. I'm getting ready to do right now is I'm going to take these Italian sausages and I'm just going to slice them into bite sizes. They're really hot, you know. Should have really let them cool down, but I don't care. Oh, let me turn this TV down. Sorry. Okay, I'm watching Miss Jane Pittman. I love that movie. Okay, you see, I'm just slicing these up in bite-sized pieces. So, you know, we're gonna put some Italian sausage and meatballs on your sandwich. I'm just gonna not pick those hot things up with my hands because they're really hot. I'm gonna put that on in the sauce right there. They're hot. Okay, we're gonna get a few more. Like I said, these are good, really good fried. I mean, not fried. Ooh, that's hot. Frozen. My dog, he'll put this in a hot dog bun by itself. So all the extra ones, that's what I'll do. It says they're perfectly baked. Ooh, yummy. This is gonna be good. You don't want to slice them really thin because you want to have meatball and some of the Italian sausage together. This is gonna be so good. It's gonna be delicious. Put that in there. Ooh, wee, those are hot. Veggies that we baked on this pan. Those are the vegetables. We're just gonna put those on in there. Ooh, those are hot. veggies in there. Just scraping this pan down. Some of them are a little crispy and burnt, but that's just going to give it the flavor. And then just put all that goodness in there. I know you can see it. You see that? I'm going to taste that one. Okay, I'm just going to try a little bit of that. See that? All crispy and brown in the oven. Hot. We just our potatoes up in there. See if we need another one, but I'm giving me a little bit more piece of that right there. Ooh, you see that? Ooh. It's hot. Ooh, that's hot. I'm gonna get the meatballs out. It's so good. No, this is what I'm gonna show you. This is how it come out. You can't avoid this. You can't avoid it. That's how, when you bake meatballs, that's how they come out. Just like they say, oh, all this goodness on the bottom of the skillet. All that is the goodness. That's the goodness. All that stuff. Break them up. Oh, be careful because it's hot. Break them up. See how brown, golden brown those are? And you just break them up. All that yucky looking stuff. That's the goodness. Break them up. Break them up. With that spatula, drain them. Put them in there. All that ugliness. You don't want the grease. Or the oil, whatever you want to call it. But all that ugliness you want in there, because that's flavor. Now, I promise you're not going to see it once you mix it up in there. Oh, salt. Not going to see it. Oil. The only way you're going to avoid getting the ugliness as if you're washing meatballs out, and then you're going to be losing all your flavor. You see that? We're going to turn the eye back on. Low. You just don't want that oil. You're not going to avoid getting the ugliness, so that's what I call it. It used to gross me out, but all of that is just the fat and the flavor. And if you can see, I'm not draining all of it off because a little bit of oil is going to make it better. Woo-wee. This is going to be so good. Okay. Woo-hoo. Yeah, I know you're going to see all those little green and lady things, but again, I say, that's flavor. I'm going to let this cook down for a minute, and then we're going to taste it. I think we might can use a couple more sausage in there. Let's see. Yeah, we can use a couple more sausage. So I'm just going to take a couple more sausage and chop it up. Ooh, that's hot. That's hot. Give me a fork. Like I say, we're cutting them into bite-sized pieces. You don't want little bitty skinny ones. You're going to be able to taste your sausage. That's some good sausage. Not as good as Snoop's, but alright. Okay, so we're gonna let this simmer for about a good 20 minutes or so, so all those sausages and meatballs can get incorporated. Okay, guys, here's the finished product: meatball, Italian sausage, and brioche buns. I chose brioche because I like them because I don't like long bread. So, get you a fork and a knife where you can pick it up and bite it. And I promise you they're going to be delicious. And like I said, you might see them, they do freeze well. Okay, see you on my next video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and hit that button. Bell, I'm sorry. Bye.